The Battle of the Teutoburg Forest, fought in September 9 AD, stands as one of the most devastating defeats in Roman history and a pivotal moment that halted Rome's expansion into Germania. Prelude to the ambush, in the early 1st century AD, the Roman Empire, under Emperor Augustus, sought to extend its dominion east of the Rhine River into Germania. Publius Quinctilius Varus, a Roman nobleman and experienced administrator, was appointed governor of the newly established province. Among his trusted allies was Arminius, a chieftain of the Cherusci tribe who had been granted Roman citizenship and served as an officer in the Roman auxiliary forces. Unbeknownst to Varus, Arminius harbored deep resentment towards Roman rule and was clandestinely uniting various Germanic tribes, including the Cherusci, Bructeri, and Angrivarii, to resist Roman occupation. In the summer of 9 AD, Arminius reported a fictitious rebellion in the region and persuaded Varus to lead his 3 legions, 17th, 18th, and 19th, along with auxiliary troops and civilians, through the unfamiliar and treacherous terrain of the Teutoburg Forest to quell the uprising. The ambush unfolds as the Roman column, encumbered by heavy equipment and non-combatants, advanced through the dense forest. They were stretched thin and vulnerable. Taking advantage of a sudden downpour that further disorganized the Roman ranks, Arminius and his coalition launched a surprise attack. Over the course of 3 harrowing days, the Roman forces were relentlessly assaulted in a series of ambushes. The narrow paths and swampy grounds nullified the Romans' tactical formations, rendering them defenseless against the guerrilla tactics of the Germanic warriors. On the final day, the remnants of the Roman army attempted to break through near Calcrease Hill, but were met with fortified Germanic positions. Facing inevitable defeat, Varus took his own life. The aftermath was catastrophic. All 3 legions were annihilated, their eagle standards lost, a profound disgrace in Roman military tradition. Survivors were either killed, enslaved, or, in some cases, subjected to ritual sacrifices. Aftermath and legacy. The defeat sent shockwaves through Rome. Emperor Augustus was reportedly so traumatized that he would wander his palace, lamenting, "Quinctilius Varus, give me back my legions." In response, the Roman Empire abandoned its ambitions to conquer Germania east of the Rhine. Subsequent punitive campaigns were launched, notably by Germanicus between 14 and 16 AD, which recovered 2 of the lost eagle standards, but Rome never re-established control over the region. The Battle of the Teutoburg Forest marked a turning point, establishing the Rhine as the boundary of the Roman Empire in the north and shaping the future cultural and political landscape of Europe. While no first-hand accounts from participants of the Battle of the Teutoburg Forest in 9 AD have survived, Roman historian Tacitus provides a vivid narrative in his annals, drawing from earlier sources and eyewitness testimonies. His descriptions offer a compelling portrayal of the battlefield and its aftermath. Tacitus's account of the aftermath. In 15 AD, 6 years after the catastrophic defeat, Roman general Germanicus led a campaign into Germania and visited the site of the battle. Tacitus recounts the harrowing scene. In the center of the field were the whitening bones of men, as they had fled or stood their ground, strewn everywhere or piled in heaps. Near lay fragments of weapons and limbs of horses, and also human heads, prominently nailed to trunks of trees. In the adjacent groves were the barbarous altars on which they had immolated tribunes and first-rank centurions. Survivors of the disaster guided Germanicus, pointing out where key events had occurred. Some survivors of the disaster who had escaped from the battle or from captivity described how this was the spot where the officers fell, how yonder the eagles were captured, where Varus was pierced by his first wound, where too by the stroke of his own ill-starred hand he found for himself death. Moved by the sight, Germanicus and his troops conducted burial rites for the fallen. The Roman army, now on the spot, 6 years after the disaster, in grief and anger, began to bury the bones of the 3 legions. Not a soldier knowing whether he was enduring the relics of a relative or a stranger, but looking on all as kinsfolk and of their own blood. Arminius's role and Roman reflections. Arminius, the Germanic chieftain who orchestrated the ambush, had previously served in the Roman military. Tacitus notes that during a confrontation with his brother, Flavus, who remained loyal to Rome, Arminius spoke in fluent Latin, highlighting his Roman military experience.